And we welcome you back to halftime. Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange is joining us on our hotline right now. Always appreciate a visit from Alyssa. Happy Tuesday, Alyssa. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I'm having a beer with a friend at Fossil Cove. Can I say that? It's afternoon, so
no judgment here, Alyssa.
Thanks.
Hey, you're off today. Nothing wrong with that.
I am.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Enjoy. So what is it you're having? Tell us what's in the glass.
Thank you. I really like is it their Tripel or their Triple Fossil Cove Triple Tripel? I might be pronouncing it
It's
wrong.
pretty strong. It's a really
triple.
strong one, isn't it?
Well,
Like
don't
hoppy, like an IPA?
You know I love hoppy beers. I'm
go.
an IPA girl, but I have to be careful because it's noon.
Fair enough.
We are trying to make sense of the portal. I guess everybody's trying to make sense of this right now, Alyssa. I mean, that's the best way to put it.
They've been drinking too many IPAs.
The transfer portal is having more beers, but the transfer portal's at work today.
Portal's making me drink over here, guys. Let's be honest.
Alyssa, we've had a couple callers and texters say that they're tired. They're tired of this. I had a texter that says, I listen religiously to every single Arkansas baseball game. He's gave up his football season tickets. He won't watch. He held those season tickets for 30 years. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see more of this? Because the ratings continue to stay up, and sometimes I wonder if the ratings might even be artificially pumped.
Yeah, it's that itself is a question. But the portal is frustrating, and I think a lot of people are just over it. At first, people didn't understand it, and then it's evolved over the past couple of years from a frustration to just I'm just not going to tolerate it anymore. So you have fans who do exactly what that guy did and just give up their season tickets and say, I wipe my hands clean of this. And that's heartbreaking for people who have been fans of teams for so long and loyal season ticket holders or what have you. Like, it would break my heart if I ever got to a point where I felt like I had to hang up my FSU gear because I was just over what was going on in the state of college athletics, but you also then too have to understand, and we saw it last year and we're seeing more and more of it this year, I'm going to ask for $1 million. Okay, well, you're not worth $1 million, so I'm sorry, but you can leave. And people are getting shopped around, or you see on social media where it's like, we want this much money, we want cars for my family, I want an escort to practice. It's like, what are we doing here? And this is not what the NIL was supposed to be. It's just so that guys can't make money off of you in their little sports shops with their jerseys and your name on them. It's not here I am and let me shop me around to the highest bidder, and that's where we are, and that's where the frustration lies from me. If it was just, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy a Taylon Green jersey. Taylon Green deserves to have some kind of stipend or what have you from the sales of his jersey because of his name. I'm buying a Taylon Green jersey. I'm not buying a Andrew Armstrong jersey or a Luke Hess jersey. I'm buying a Taylon Green jersey. He deserves a little bit of that. This is not a pay-for-play, and it's exactly what it's turned into. Now you also look at tampering, you throw that in there, and the frustration of feeling like there are certain teams that are just targeting kids and pulling them away. And then now, but what is the NCAA going to do? And that's the biggest thing, is a lot of these schools have said, I dare you to come after us in 10 years because I'm not scared of you anymore.
Hey, Alyssa, I want to ask you about something that's going to be happening this weekend, and it's the college football 12, and you got the 4 games that are going to be playing. And right now, I know Phil and I have talked about it. I think Phil has all the favorites. I got Tennessee as an underdog that has a chance. Who do you like? Do you think all 4 favorites? Who do you have in these first 4 games? What's a matchup that you like where you think the underdog could win?
Yeah, I like that Tennessee pick. I can get on that with you, Matt. I like that. I refuse to make any kind of judgment, say in the Notre Dame Indiana game, because I have Evan, who's an Indiana grad, and then Jacob is from South Bend in the office, and so I'm just playing Switzerland on that game.
Smart.
Not saying anything. And you
got Texas, Clemson, and Penn State, SMU.
Well, I will always go with Texas over Clemson because I want Clemson to lose every weekend of every football season.
I like the reasoning too.
Oh, and thank you. You know what? And I like a good SMU story. I think this whole Rhett Lashley team has been really fun to watch, and I love the storyline. So let's go SMU. What does that give me? 2-2?
I like it. I think that when it first came out, I told Phil, or Phil and I were talking, and I thought SMU had the best chance. And the more I looked at it, I'm starting to lean towards Tennessee. But SMU impressed me with their front seven, how they were able to kind of, they got down early, but their physicality, because Clemson, I know, is a real physical team. In SMU, they kind of matched their physicality. So I think that's good going forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're just going to see some really good football games, which I'm very excited about. And I hope it lives up to all the hype, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Have you noticed that we don't have these kinds of conversations in May leading up to the baseball tournament? We don't have these kinds of conversations in late February or early March leading up to March Madness. Usually those conversations are with baseball. It's like, all right, wouldn't it be great if they moved the draft back to where it used to be? I mean, it's stuff that's sort of out of control of college sports. With basketball, all right, are we adding 4 more teams? Are we going to put over 100 teams in, that kind of thing? It never feels like the sport is at a crossroads where, you worry about its existence. College football stands alone in the – I shouldn't put it in the terms of worrying about its existence. People think it's going to go away. It's too popular to go away. I mean, there's the reason the money is there is because it's such a popular enterprise. But this is a standalone thing in terms of, I mean, just look at Penn State's backup quarterback transferring because he doesn't have another option and he wants to play. Is that, to me, that is indicative of a sick sport.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, already, I know that Brandon Marcello wrote an article about just like things that the College Football Committee has learned or things that they might have done differently in hindsight, right? And then they just put this together last week. Did you see Jeff Traylor, former Arkansas running back coach and the head coach at UTSA, talking about on social media, this clip was put out there, on how truly, it's an adult problem, not a kid problem, because you have an academic calendar fighting against the college football calendar. And so a prime example with the Penn State quarterback is that as much as he probably doesn't want to leave his team during the college football playoffs, he doesn't have much of a choice in the transfer portal, because if he wants to get in there and he wants to get enrolled at a school and go through spring ball, he's got to do it in this academic calendar, and they're on Christmas break for the next 3 weeks. And so he's got to get that done now and, bid adieu and best of luck to Penn State on their journey to a national championship, because he wants to see what that next opportunity is. And so that's what I think is wrong. You want to talk about things that are broken. You want to talk about things that just are not well put together or organized. I mean, that kind of and the transfer portal is as toxic as it's ever been, but it boils down to this academic versus college football calendar. And you really can't move college football, and you really can't move the academic calendar either. And so I was talking about this earlier in the week. You might have to look at, there is no penalty for transferring right now, and there used to be. So do you have to make a rule, and I'll throw this out there, that says if you're going to go in the transfer portal and you transfer, you cannot enroll in a new school until the summer. Okay, that's your penalty. You don't get to go through spring ball. You don't get a spring semester at this new school. You have to enroll in that new school in the summer, and that's where you pick things up. And maybe that's where the transfer window adjusts back to not allow people to go into the spring. That's your penalty of sorts. But then you don't have guys like this leaving when his team's competing for a national championship, because he's just got to find a place to be in the next few weeks.
Yeah. All right. Last thing before we let you go, about Russell going into the portal 2 days ago. It's the last guy to go in. I think I'm counting 24 and 6 on the way in now, if the Cam Shanks news is correct. Do we think that's it in terms of players that might be leaving the program? And hopefully these guys are getting ready for the Liberty Bowl, because it's the middle of practice now.
I think it is. I think it is right now, and we'll see another wave maybe after the bowl game, maybe after spring. But right now, I think the dust is kind of settled for Arkansas. You'd hope so. I say that hopeful that it is, but I do. I think guys have kind of settled down now. And if you were going to leave, you kind of already would have left. Braylon Russell was just very indecisive.
Yeah, well, I wonder what it was. The got him back in and then put him back out there. But
I think
have
we
our
all know,
thoughts.
Phil.
Yes,
I think
that's
we
right.
all know.
Alyssa, appreciate your time. Enjoy the next IPA, okay?
Thank you. Not too many, though, I promise.
Thanks,
That's
Alyssa.
right. It's Alyssa Orange
Thanks,
with
guys.
us every Tuesday on Halftime.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.